Well, Adam, not the start you would have wanted. What's your initial thoughts on that?
Obviously, we're disappointed, particularly with the goals. Really, I thought the goals were soft, and the second one I think is just absolutely knocked the stuffing out of the lads and probably the whole ground really, because I felt after going behind, the reaction of the team was good. Obviously, we go and get level. And I felt then for a good 10 minutes after that, we were on the front foot. The crowd were, behind the team, and you could see the players playing with a bit more freedom and a little bit more confidence. Had a couple of opportunities that we didn't quite manage to capitalise on, and then, that goal's just ridiculous. And I were hoping he got it out of his system after he did it last week at Scunthorpe, but to go and do it again. And I think then probably all the things that have been going against the players earlier on in the season kind of just all came back to the front of the minds, because you could just see, obviously I was sat in the stand today, but you could just see the confidence drain out of him. It was a massive sucker punch, and we didn't really kind of get going again after that. I didn't feel kind of played within ourselves. We're a little bit safe, lost a little bit of our identity, and I think in that last 10 minutes when the game got stretched, I think maybe our lack of fitness showed. And that probably played a part in the third goal as well. So I think 3-1 was maybe a little bit cruel, but overall I'm pleased with things that I have seen today. Obviously there's a lot of work still to do, and I've said that to the lads there. Even if we'd have won that game today somehow, there's still a lot of work to do. So that doesn't change. It would have just put a plaster over it really. So positives to take away, but we've got a lot of work to do. That's for sure.
Belief is a massive thing, isn't it, in football, and they've been struggling for results, and as you say, when they did go 2-1 down, then they were coming back.
Yeah, confidence is a massive part of sport, and you can see the lads. We saw it when we came in. The lads they're hurting, and that's a good thing because they care, and they want to get out of the situation that we're in, and I'm still, certain that we will do. It was a tough game for us today, that against a good Buxton team, and they obviously nearly got to the playoffs last year, and they've been together for quite some time. They've got good depth in their squad, and I think you look at probably what options they had to come off the bench, and they're just stronger than us at this moment in time, and we've got to accept that. It's just that goal. I think that second goal was the turning point in the game. I think if that doesn't happen, I felt we were getting on the ascendancy, and it could have been a completely different result, but it wasn't to be, and we've just got to dust ourselves down and back in Monday and work hard and try and get a good result next week. One
massive positive was seeing Cameron Hargreaves back on the pitch, and if anybody deserved a goal, it was him.
Yeah, I thought he was tremendous, real engine in there, and probably one of the worrying aspects from my side is he looked like one of our fittest players, and he's been out injured for a while, and listen, I lay no blame whatsoever at the players' door. I think the work that's gone on before me, just has got them in this situation, and ultimately it's mine and Sam's job and the players' job to work hard and get ourselves out of the situation that we're in, and we will do. It'll take a little bit of time. It was never going to be a case of change the manager and then we'll get a win today and off we go. Football's never that straightforward. We will get better day by day and over time. But as I say, it's about just taking the positives from today's performance, those that we can find. We've got to look and assess why we've conceded those goals, and just look to get better for next week.
Is fitness one of the big things that you've noticed since coming?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't want it to, I don't want to come across like I'm being critical of the players, because I'm really not. They've worked really hard this week, and look, maybe the last 15 minutes we were a little bit dead on our feet because training has gone up a level this week. Maybe that's the case, and if it is, then obviously the blame's at my door and not the players. But we've put some what we would consider fairly routine sessions into the lads this week. And the noises are that it's harder than anything they did in pre-season, and pre-season at any level of football is massive. So we are playing catch up, and it will take a little bit of time. So we might just need people to bear with us a little bit, but we've got an idea of what we kind of need to do. There's going to have to be some change of personnel. I think we're crying out for a few fresh faces, just to maybe get one or two on the toes. We certainly need more options from the bench. We've no real wide players of such, and you look at what they're bringing on in comparison to obviously the options that we've got. I just think there's quite an imbalance within the group at the minute, and ultimately it's our job to try and address that as quickly as we can.
You talk about plastering, putting a plaster over things. Do you think this was, in a way, a good one for your first match, seeing where the weaknesses are?
No,
not that a result like that is something that you want.
Well, no, you never want to lose. It's always going to be. Listen, every game in this league's hard. It doesn't matter who the first game would have been. It would have been tough. Buxton obviously in good form. They went up and spanked Scunthorpe last week, and Craig's teams are always decent and experienced, and they've got depth, and they've got 2 or 3 big players missing today, but they're still able to bring quality off the bench. And we've just got to work as hard as we can, both on the training ground and in the the market, really, to try and improve the group, because it does need that.
Because it's tough though to get those fresh faces in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the hardest part of the job. It really, really is. I think usually your recruitment as a manager makes or breaks, and I feel in the past it's been a real strength of mine, being able to bring the right characters and personalities and quality into a football club. Obviously, it's going to be hard because we're obviously 10, 11 games into the season. So anybody who's decent will be probably contracted elsewhere, and obviously it might be difficult for me to move some of these lads who we maybe think need to go out the club. But look, I like the group of lads. They're a good group of lads, and they really are honest. They've worked really hard this week. They certainly care, and they're hurting. They want to improve, and they want to turn the corner. And I'm confident that we will. It was never going to be a case of us coming in, having a good week of training, coming here today, getting 3 points, and everything's rosy. It's going to take time, this, but we will get it right. We just need people to bear with us. I thought the supporters were fantastic, particularly when we equalised. The noise in the stadium was great, and the energy that they gave then to the players and getting behind them was brilliant up until that sucker punch. So I think I'd like to thank them for that, and hopefully they'll keep on coming, and they'll bear with us, and they'll keep supporting the team.
Do you feel dispirited, or is it what the job ahead of you? Is it as you would expect?
Yeah, as expected, really. I knew it was going to be hard, and I still think it's hard. So. I'm quite a positive guy anyway. I think you've always got to look to take the positives out of any performance. There's always, even when you win, there's things you can improve on. So we've just got to take the positives out of that, look at it with the lads on Monday, get a good week of work into us, and try and bounce back next weekend.
You said first game, you can't expect everything to be turned around. Was that sitting up there part of a learning thing for you? Because
no, I had a touchline ban today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've been managing teams since I was 18. So 20 years. Been sent off 3 times in my career, and sod's law. Yeah, today was one of them. I hated it. I'd rather be down here. Yeah. So.
Are you a baller from here, as in verbals?
No, I'm not.
Because your assistant is.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. He's. You want to see him on the pitch. He's. And. He's exactly what we probably need on the pitch, so he'll be training this week and hopefully be available for next weekend. But no, I'm not. Listen, if I'm not happy, then people know I'm not happy, and I can lose my rank. But I don't think shouting and growling's always the answer. Certainly for your players, you need to give them good information. I got sent off a couple of weeks ago because the referee was way off it, and I heat to the moment. I told him, and it is what it is. The FA got the £200, and I got to sit in the ground here and in the stand, and he's probably got a promotion. But that's the way that football works these days.
But nonetheless, wherever you were based, it was still the first game. It was a lot you could actually see, rather than being at Ely and watching it on a training ground. Seeing it for real is the learning experience.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I've watched pretty much all the games back from. Before we came here, we'd watched a lot anyway before we came, because obviously we played Kings Lynn several weeks ago at my last club. So already had a good idea of the players, individuals, but you only really get to kind of know what the lads are like and what you've got to work with once you actually get in the building. And as I said, they've had a really good week. It's been positive. feel like the confidence has increased throughout the week, and we were just kind of hoping that we could get some kind of result today to just kind of finish off a good week of work, and then take that positivity into Monday and try and improve again for the next weekend. So obviously losing today, it's a blow, but it is what it is. We've just got to improve.
You mentioned wide players, but are there any other areas where you think you need to change personnel? I mean, chances were fairly few and far between.
Yeah, I think, if you're looking at it simple terms, we need to concede less and score more. So we need to. I think we need to look at the wide areas for sure, because even down the left-hand side, we've only got Cliffy, and if there's an issue on that side, we're really, really short. And you're looking at options then, with nobody really that can play left back, and with nobody else who can really play left wing back, and obviously now Keane's going away with Gibraltar, so with nobody really who can play on that right-hand side, we haven't really got a recognised right back. So I just think there's a real imbalance within the group. Really do. We're really heavy on attacking midfielders, number 10s, midfielders. We've got so many of them, but with no wide players, very little pace in the group. It's tough. We for the time being, we have to work with what we've got, and I do believe that the nucleus of this group is good enough to get us out of where we are with some hard work and just giving them a bit more guidance and a bit more belief and a bit more structure. But we need to. There's no point in us having 6, 7, 8 number 10s and central midfield players when we've no wide players and we've got one left back, one right back. It's just crazy, really. So we need to get better balance within that group, and that then will help us, because it'll increase competition for places, which hopefully will get lads on the toes. They know when they're out there they've got to perform better. But it also gives you more armoury as a manager, because you're looking at maybe ways to change that game there. And for me, it's crying out for we've got a wide player with a bit of pace to just threaten in behind, and we've no one. And that's no fault of the players. I'm not standing here criticising them at all. That's not what I'm like. But we have to face the reality that there is a massive imbalance in the group, and it only really lends itself to one or two ways of playing, and we need to try and rectify that.
There's always gossip around Josh Barrett, and word has it that you've had gossip about him from Mr. Widrington. What's Josh's position? I mean, does somebody want him, and would you let him go? Or?
Well, no, I want him. And he's contracted to us, and he's staying here. It's simple as that. I spoke with Tommy on Tuesday. I said if they wanted him, then they needed to put a bid in, because he's not going for free. He's one of the best players in the league when he's at it. They have no money to pay for him. He said they'd take him on loan, but they won't pay all of his wages. And I said, well, that's not happening. So he's with us. I've told JB, and he's a top player. And I have to say, his attitude this week has been absolutely first class. He's worked hard. He's trained well. He's smiling, and he's if we can get a tune out of him, he's one of the best players in this league. He shouldn't be playing at this level of football. But ultimately, it's my job to find a system that suits him and get the best out of him. And I believe if he continues to work as he has done this week, then he will come good for us. I've no doubt about that.
If a bid did come in, though, if they managed to have the money,
it'd have to be a big one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We're not pissing about with loose change. He's a good player, and he's contracted to us. If anybody wants him, they're going to have to come with bulging pockets, aren't they?
Paul Jones, he went down quite early. I would imagine when you looked at your bench, you thought, oh Christ, I hope he gets up quickly.
No, I did. I was happy he got up.
Is he still your first team coach? Is that going to remain like that?
Well, it's just one of kind of many things really that there's not enough clarity around, because I had that conversation with him last Friday, and it was news to him that was meant to be his title. So. Look, he's a great lad. He's experienced. He's had a good career in the game, and we will obviously use him on the training ground. So he obviously needs to train himself, because at the moment we've obviously got Tommy out. We need to get him back, but he is taking training with some of the younger lads. It's an area we need to look at. There's so much work to do here. But there's only 24 hours in a day, so we'll see what we do with that going forward.
You say you're happy with the nucleus of the squad.
Yeah.
Is it Do you think it's just tinkering, or does it require major surgery, do you think?
No, I think it's just balancing out what we have. You know, we've got a hell of a lot of bodies who play down the middle of the pitch. You know, we've got 5, 6 centre halves. You know, obviously now we've got Macca back and Adam back and Josh. We've then got Orky, we've got Harry Twight, we've got Ethan Sutcliffe on loan from Wimbledon. We've got 6 centre halves. You know, it's crazy. You know, we've then got a lot of midfield players. Obviously, Tommy Hughes still out injured. Another big player to come back. A lot of central midfield players, a lot of attacking midfield players. You know, and obviously we've got Q, Bart, and Jordan that can play through the middle. But you then look at us down the sides, and we've got very, very little options. You know, in the wing back areas, you've got Cliffy and you've got Kean. And there's no real competition for places there. You know, I think maybe the competition that they've had, in my opinion, is maybe not adequate. So it's my job to just try and give us more balance in that group, you know, so that we can get a bit of pressure on the lads that are playing in them positions and get us some options higher up the pitch in the wide areas. It's very difficult for wing backs playing in that system with nobody. You know, the most natural thing for a full-back or a wing-back to do is to open up and push it down the line and then go and overlap or underlap and get balls in the box. They haven't got that. So that's probably impacting on their game as well. So we just need to... I don't think it needs major surgery. I think I said that to you last week. I think we have got a lot of good players here, but we obviously need to... You know, the ones who we feel are the weakest of the areas where we've got too many bodies, ultimately we need to probably look at maybe moving those out or getting them on loan or sending loanees back and replacing them with players in areas of the pitch where it'll give us more options going forward.
Does the lack of goals concern you, or do you think if you bring in more width, that's where the problem will be solved?
Yeah, I think we've got good players and I think we will, you know. I mean, we scored a good goal today. We're unlucky with when Ben Stevens has gone through. I'm sure he's disappointed, maybe should have done better. Jordan was unlucky with an header in the first half. So I think we will create chances. Jordan's just obviously, you know, had a bit of a run where he's not really scored, so it was good for him to do that. It was Jordan who scored, wasn't it? Cameron, flipping heck. I should have had my glasses on up there. But no, I think we'll score. I think we'll score goals. But if you keep clean sheets, one's enough. So we've got to get the balance right. You know, as well as within the group of players, we've got to get the balance right from being defensively solid, but also posing more of a threat.
As you've probably found out, Kings Lynn is out on the limb, as they say. Does that make your job harder to attract players here?
Well, no, because it's a nice place. You know, it's a nice place, and we're obviously a full-time club, and we've still got aspirations of having a good season. So, you know, I don't know why anybody wouldn't be interested in coming here if obviously the deal was right. Probably the biggest issue that not just me being here at Kings Lynn, but I think any manager in the league, you know, all the best players elsewhere, they'll all be contracted, and if they're any good, they'll probably be playing. So probably getting players in on permanent deals is going to be really, really difficult now. So we probably have to look at the loan market, maybe see, and you know, you can get good loan players out of EFL clubs, but I don't think you can be too reliant on young players. You know, we need men. We need men who know this league and who can go and perform consistently for us. So he's probably looking more at National League clubs, League Two clubs, even clubs in our own division. You know, which players are maybe not featuring so much, and seeing if we can get one or two of those in the short term, just to help us in the coming weeks. Obviously, you're not going to name names, but have you got anyone in mind who might fit what you're looking for? Yeah, we've made inquiries all this week, to be honest. But you know, clubs have obviously got that many games, and you never know what's going on at other clubs in terms of who they've got available and bodies, and if they're light on numbers, they're not going to really let people out. So it might just take us a little bit of time. We've got some inquiries in, and maybe one or two in next week, all being well, but that depends on kind of how other teams have done at the weekend and if they put any knocks or suspensions, that type of thing. So it's out of your control, which is the hardest thing as a manager, you know, but it's our job just to keep on you know, keep on working hard, keep getting on the phone, keep doing our research, seeing who's available, seeing where we can improve, and you know, I'm sure over time we will.